Today, we are super honored to have with us Shannon and Johan from the Arkansas Matrix, a team that is playing the Pro Padel League. You know that these past days we're doing an extra effort and trying to get the best content we have because we are starting the second leg of the Pro Padel League, season 2, second year. And this is growing, and we have here a very special couple because they have a team that I think is the one that everybody likes based on the players they have, how they perform, and also the branding, what they represent. And that's one of the things we want to talk about. So, welcome to our YouTube. And I want to know everything about you. So, I'm sure you're going to come back again at this time. I hope you like it. And we are doing, trying to do more quality content in English, which I think is needed. And I'm happy to meet people that are American getting into paddle because to me, this is a sign of paddle is growing in the US, not necessarily because people from Spain, Argentina, Latinos are pushing it, but it's being embraced because it's a special game, sport, or whatever. So, what's your story? Where are you from?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for having us and inviting us here. This is a lot of fun. I'm Johan. I'm originally from the Netherlands. Neither one of us is from Arkansas, but it's a great place to live. So I'm from the Netherlands. I came to the U.S. when I was 18, about 10 years ago, and played tennis.
Okay.
That's how we met. And then we both played college tennis. We met each other. We got in a relationship, and then we started a business together. We started a racket club, a Matrix racket club, and then we fell in love with paddle ourselves. And then after a couple years, we had the opportunity with Marcos Del Pilar.
Okay.
And we met Marcos and have a good relationship with him. And then we were able to get a franchise in the Pro Paddle League. And then that's kind of
He's
the
super
quick.
charismatic.
He's very charismatic.
Okay.
Yeah, a great guy.
Yeah, Marcos is special. But I didn't know that you, Johan, were from the Netherlands.
Yes.
So that explains a lot about your name. So is 14 your favorite number, or?
It close. Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I like Johan Cruyff a lot. Yes.
Yeah. I'm from Spain, so my dad is a Football Club Barcelona supporter.
Okay. Yes.
Although we are from Madrid or near to
Yes.
Madrid, close to Madrid, because at that time in which you're pre-teenager, you're a kid, Johan Cruyff was like emblematic
Yes.
player. So I think it has been the same with Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi in Real Madrid and Barcelona, and that's why he picked that team, and I picked that too. So when I was growing up, he was the super coach that gave like the first Champions League and all that. So
Yes.
to me, when you say Johan, like So,
Yes. Yeah. No, he's a big icon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I do not.
sports people.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
not think I'm named after him, but
No, but
yeah.
it's a common name. I
Yes.
guess.
Yes. Yes.
And what about you, Shannon?
So I'm from Virginia Beach, grew up playing tennis, went to Arkansas to play tennis, met Johan there. And then, as he said, we started a business together. Enjoyed it. Went to go figure out more about racket sports, pickleball, paddle, all those things, and we fell in love with paddle. It's one of the greatest games, one of the most fun sports. Like, we love playing ourselves. All of our friends who have started playing, they just love it so much. So naturally, we started getting more involved in the paddle world in the U.S.
And, how do you make the decision of having a franchise on the Pro Padel League? Because one thing is just setting a court in your club, and the other is going like far and embracing like the top option, which is having
That's
a
a
franchise.
that's a good question. We decided to get involved because we really believe in paddle. We think it's a really, really awesome sport. We know that it's one of the fastest growing sports in the world, if not the, in Europe and South America. It's really not in the U.S. a lot. A lot of people haven't heard about it in the U.S. People don't know to call it paddle or padel. So we believe it's going to be amazing in the U.S. And we wanted to get involved from the beginning, and we really want to help catapult this sport to being known in the U.S.
Wow. And you picked the name after your team or your, let's say, your club. But why did you pick that name for the club? It was already there, or?
So Matrix, we picked the name for the club, and the definition of Matrix is an environment in which something develops. And that's what we've done in Arkansas. We've created a club that wasn't in Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas is where we're from. There was nothing like that in Northwest Arkansas, and it fit our personalities really well. It fit what we're trying to do in Arkansas really well. And so we decided to name that for the club. And then for the team, we were kind of going back and forth between a few things. And our number one team pick name was actually Arkansas Diamonds. But there's a minor league baseball team named the Arkansas Diamonds in Little Rock. So we couldn't do that name. And so we decided to keep with Matrix. And now I'm really excited and I'm really happy that we did.
Yeah, and I think you have the logo. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool in general.
Yeah.
Like, I like it now. It's more recognizable, right? Like when people see the club, or also for SEO reasons and all that, like the internet, it's gonna get like more traffic and
Yeah, I think it's a
more
cool
awareness.
name. It's easy to brand. People like it. So
So let's talk a little bit about the team. You are keeping some players from last year, which I think is a good sign that you are happy with them. But how is that selection? Not the draft, but the initial selection and what we have now from last year to now.
we'll let you.
Yeah.
go ahead.
So last year, there was a lot of different rules with the league where you could only have 2 international players on your team, one an international man, one international woman, and we really, as a team, wanted to have build a group of players that get along together, because last year they were together for 5 weeks, so it's very important that you get along. So we got Cata, who is like a fantastic person. We love her, and she was a fantastic player. She, in our opinion, was the most valuable player in the league last year, especially on the women's side. She won all of her doubles matches that she played. So then transitioning into this year, they allowed you to have a lot more internationals on the team, which is great for the league. Now we have the best players in the world are playing in the league, which is fantastic to watch. It's a great product, but we still wanted to create that same feeling that we are a family. We're not just like playing the matches like off the court. We like to hang out, go to dinners together. We like to do fun stuff. So we really wanted to keep the players together that we had and keep as much players on the team from last year to create the cohesiveness. So that's what we're able to do. We kept Cata, we kept Charlie, we kept Egle, we kept a lot of the players from last year. But in order to be competitive with the other players, we had to bring in the new players as well.
But they fit in the team
But
so
they
well.
fit into the team
Yeah.
fantastically, and they all get along really, really well. They all know each other off the court, so we're very happy with the way our roster is looking right now.
Yeah, and I think Mario is great. Mario
Yes.
is
Yeah.
renowned, and also Gonzalo is emblematic
Yes.
for his super, I would say, like perfection. He's one of the
Yes.
most technical ones. So for technical challenges and to do like videos on how to do things, he's
Yes.
a great player too. Not just competing, of course. So I think it's a very special selection, and also like Charlie Moon, Carlos
Yes.
has a unique story about himself. I want to interview him. He works at Padel, which is just 3 seats from here. So he's going to come soon. And
Yes.
I want to highlight also what
Yeah.
Yes.
he's fought and all that. So, and Egle is mom of 4 kids, I think. Like, I don't know how she can make it.
Yeah.
Like when she goes to for the USPA tournaments, she comes like with the kids and everything, like, oh, it's crazy. And then she wins and
Yeah.
that, so she wins, so everybody likes her too. And I like that part of the team. How has been your experience this new season that is different? Like, it's more intense, I think, like the days you are here in Miami, like before it was 5 weeks, now it's 2 weeks now, but a lot of games.
Yes.
And time together and time in the club. So how are you living that?
So yeah, there's a lot of games being played in a short amount of time. It's a very physical. We had a doubleheader on our first day, and that was only some of the players' third day in the U.S. So that's very physical for them. But man, they're so tough. They're so impressive, like what they can do on the court. Like Petty and Gonzalo, they played 6 sets that day, and 6 matches, I guess.
Yeah, 6 sets.
6 sets. Okay, 6 sets. Sorry.
That is
They
one.
played 6 sets that day, and by the end, like you could tell, like they were a little bit tired, but they were gonna fight as hard as they could, and they did the whole entire time. It's really impressive what these players can do, and how they treat their bodies is very inspirational. And so, yes, that is a part of it, but we also have like one of the fittest teams for sure. I don't think it has affected our team at all. The heat, like it has affected others, and then the amount of time on the court and all. So I don't think it's affected us the same way that it's affected other players. So that's also something that we wanted to we were looking at when it came to recruiting the players.
Yeah, no, I think it's a very smart choice and angle too, because when we talked to Cata, what also told us here is that she likes the commitment all the team has for as a team, which in Padel is not that common because they usually play like a couple, but that's it. And also that everybody was meant to play all the year, not just week and leave on 2 weeks, but it's people that really feel what they're doing and they are committed, and I think that makes it different in many
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah, and something else, like it's a team environment. So like we lost one of the matches today, but we won the overall match, which is something that doesn't normally happen in paddle. As soon as you lose, you go home, you go to the next tournament. But now because it's a team match and we're having support from your other teammates, now you get to keep playing, and we had the opportunity now to continue as a team, even though we lost one match today.
Yeah, so the commitment is super high. And I want to ask you a little bit about not just the competition, but about paddle, because you have a club, as you said. You have tennis, paddle, and pickleball. So, how is the relationship between the three racket sports? Like, I would say the main one, which is widely international, like well known, more than a century old, like tennis. Pickleball, which is American born and it's like the new American sport. I have some doubt if it's a sport or not. I'm kidding. I like to be bad with that. Like, man. And Padel that was born in Mexico, grew up in Argentina, then matured in Spain, Europe, and now is coming like to the US, also worldwide growing. But usually, what I'm seeing in the US that in areas in where there are Latinos is where it starts. But I'm super curious about your experience because I think your case is unique. It's in a place that there's no previous reference. So how is that? Like people ask you how to play this, or they just go and get into the court? Because I think you are evangelizing somehow. So how is your experience there?
Yeah, I mean, we are true believers that there's space for all racket sports. One is not necessarily better than the others. I think they're all on their own track, and unless you're like a top pro player, you can play all of them.
Or the opposite. I don't see myself playing tennis. To me, tennis is super difficult. Just to
Yeah.
serve, it takes
Yeah.
a lot of time. Like I'm a juggler, but I have a deep respect for tennis.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that tennis will always be around. I think pickleball is growing fast. I think paddle it can be, and we believe that it will be a very big thing in the U.S. And there's plenty of room for all three of them. Specifically at our club, mainly the tennis players that didn't know about paddle. They're like, oh, I want to give this a go, like, and they love it. Like 90% of the people that step on the court and play, they fall in love with it. Which is very exciting because that's what happened to us. We played, we loved it. So then the flip side that is pickleball is growing fast. We think that what pickleball is in the U.S., paddle is that in the rest of the world. And I think that once that international influence comes a little bit bigger in the U.S., it's getting very big here in Miami. We think that's going to spread to the rest, and we think that paddle will start blowing up in the rest of the country.
How many courts do you have in your club?
We have 3 outdoor paddle courts.
Okay. And do you plan to put more? There's not enough demand.
We'll add more as the demand grows.
Okay. But do you feel there's demand or
Right now, we're okay with 3 courts, but I think next step would be for us to put some inside.
yeah, that's important also.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
weather-wise, like, and how one of the like I think barriers right now is the pricing in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And in Spain it used to be super elite, and then became like it was democratized somehow, and now it's everybody can afford that. I would say not playing every day maybe or something, but there are different standards. Like it's after soccer is the number 2 sport by practice. After soccer, number 1. So how is that in your club? Is it like a membership model or
We do. We have a membership model, but we don't charge people extra to play sports. So you pay your membership dues, and that gives you court time. And I think that's what other clubs in the area in the U.S. need to do for paddle. I don't think that we're going to grow the sport by charging $200 an hour for people to play. Like they need to pay their membership, or I know we need to be able to build these clubs, but we do need to give people access to the courts, and that's something we've done, and that's allowed a lot more people to try. It's going to be hard for people to try something when they have to pay such a big price just to try it and see if they like it. And then it's not the first time you play it that maybe you're going to fall in love with it, because it's going to be so hard and challenging. Some people will, some people won't, but we need to give the most amount of people access to the courts for sure.
That's super important. And what are the challenges you are facing right now with spreading paddle in the U.S.?
The pickleball hype. Pickleball is so hot right now. It's so trending right now. Like all of the corporate events that we have, like people are requesting corporate events all the time. They said, well, we've heard about pickleball. We want pickleball. We want pickleball. So I do think that's one of the challenges for paddle right now is just how excited people are about pickleball and the growth of pickleball. Just because it's like, oh, my friend plays pickleball. This friend plays pickleball. I've now heard about pickleball twice, and I haven't heard about paddle as much.
Yeah.
So, but as soon as that kind of calms down, I think people will be interested in paddle. But here's the other thing. I think paddle is a lot more interesting to watch on TV. So with the Pro Paddle League, if we can continue to get it on TV more, then people are going to see it and they're going to be like, wow, I'm either going to watch this because it's really interesting to watch, or I want to go out and play this. And something that pickleball doesn't have that paddle has, and this is what I think paddle has going for it, is that it's so much more fun to watch. But then, of course, the courts need to be built. The infrastructure needs to be in place in order for paddle to grow, which is happening. Like there's a lot of clubs being built all over the country, which is incredible. Watching it, it's exciting. So I think that's what's going to help grow paddle.
I totally agree with you, because one of the sensors of paddle growth has been social media.
Yeah, the crazy shots and all of that. Yeah, like I'm hoping this week that somebody gets on ESPN Top 10. That's one of my goals for for the PPL this season.
And it's Gonzalo, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be Gonzalo.
Yeah. Hope, the big hope is. Did you see? I don't know if you visited here for the Reserve Cup.
No, I wasn't here for it.
But the final shot, for the team, one of the teams, it was they create kind of a fantasy league.
Yeah.
So they let the coaches to do some changes, and they could change one player that hasn't played before during the game, and the team where he was playing for, they did the changes in this last shot in order to make him get in and then take the ball out, and then they were like throwing him to the air, and that's a crazy thing, and it was super funny.
Yeah, he's already hit a couple of crazy shots. It's just amazing watching him play. It's so much fun. Like he's a showman.
Yeah, and in Spain, the south where he's from, in Andalusia, he's a charismatic player.
Yeah, he is.
And that's good. Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't, but I want to go. I've been to Madrid, but I would like to travel more around Spain when I have the opportunity to.
So, going back to the league, this year I think the league is not just Florida based, because last year it was Orlando, around like San Francisco, and then it was the All-Star, and this year is going to be more distributed around the country. How do you feel about that? Like having different, like let's say, stops or mini seasons?
I think it's a great thing. I think the more that we can spread paddle, because at Miami it's getting established, the more we can spread paddle around the country, the better. We're going to California. It'd be really great. There's a lot of clubs in California, needs to continue growing, and I think the PPL will really help that. And then again, up in New York, there's some clubs as well growing up there, and so putting the PPL, putting the best players in the world in those clubs and New York City will really just it'll help catapult the sport for sure.
I love it. The last question, I wanted to do it before you need to leave for dinner with the team, which I love it. It's like, I love it. I love how you're like team building literally, and the commitment, because Cata told me to. So it's legit. It is what it is. How do you envision the future of your team I don't know if you're thinking about, I don't know, having like juniors, kids starting and being part of the matrix, or just like your dream. right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess we've taken it one season at a time so far. And like our focus has really been on the season happened, it came at us really, really fast. So I haven't actually thought about too much about that yet. But I would like to just continue to remain, and you can maybe answer as well. But I think continuing to be very competitive and having chances at winning the big matches and stuff like that is our primary focus at the moment. The future, we'll see what it holds, but we know we're opportunistic people.
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously we're very competitive people, and whatever we do, we always want to try to win. But yeah, within what we're capable of, I think that we're being very competitive this season so far. I think last week was good. Obviously, at some point you want to win. For the future, do I think that'd be a lot? I think it'd be great if there was like a junior division or something like that.
Yeah.
Like you have like your pro, and then there's like an amateur part of it. But that's just thinking out loud. But yeah, for this
Do
season,
you play too?
well,
We do
a
play.
little bit.
Maybe we should do an owners match.
Yeah, owners.
I think we might be able to win that one.
Maybe we have to throw this idea to no, we have to throw this idea to Marcos del
Yeah,
Pilar,
yeah,
because
yeah.
he's so enthusiastic that maybe it's like, oh, why didn't I have this idea? I'm gonna make this happen, and maybe on Sunday he can do something. It's a good idea, I think. I'm gonna tell him. It's like, by the way, I was talking to some founders and like owners. But do you play mixtos together and
Yeah.
USPA?
No, we
No,
don't play
no,
those.
we
we
don't play
play
tournaments.
we play recreationally at our
Okay.
club with
Yeah.
our members and stuff like that. Yeah,
People.
that's what we play.
But to me, it's great that there's the mixto, like the mixed
Oh,
game
yeah.
as competitive, because it's super like diversity friendly and makes you feel like, oh, this sport is different too. So I think is something that makes it different too. Like since the beginning, there are many women playing.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, it's very important, and I think it's something that the league has done well, and it's been a big priority of the league to equalize the men and women. In our league, they are completely equal, so just as important.
Okay. Hope to talk to you again by the end of the week. That would be like a really good sign, right?
Yes.
Like to make to the weekend. And
That's right.
thank you. I'm super like grateful for having you to here. Like I've heard so many things, good things about you, but now I feel like I understand what they say of that. So, thank you.
It was
My
nice.
pleasure.
You need to come to a match this week.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Love to have
Like I was last week watching Cata and all that, and I want to go too. So
Yeah.
for sure I'll be there.
Great. Thank you
you.
for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Pleasure.